Hey, wait a minute, wait a minute. Just before the beginning of episode, I must apologize you guys on one thing. I am a idiot and I introduce you guys to send messages of this show by the dits at podcast.com. But it took me a while to understand that I need to pay for using the at podcast. When I was to create the Dead's at podcast, I made a fucking mistake. I won't pay for that shit. So now this is a way to fix things. If you want to send a message, an image, a video, something that I can react on this, you will, of course, because there is few people listen, please send it to ditspodcast at gmail.com. I won't pay anything to Gmail. So dits podcast, DITSPODCAST at gmail.com. Way simple. Just tell me who you are, where you're from. Send me a message. Show me that I'm important. And continue to the episode. Thank you for the attention. Hello. Welcome to another d.i.t.s episode in your timeline. I'm kind of mad because I have to record this episode twice. That's the second time that I am recording this episode. And I'm kind of sick. I recorded this, and then my brother, who uses my PC for play League of Legends, suddenly came and closed the fucking recording system. Then I lost almost half an hour of episode, so I am very sad. I'm very angry. But after take some breath and drink some water, here I am. I want to make this turns in. I'm already 2 weeks without debts. Since the last one took 2 weeks for made it. I traveled. I went to other state in Brazil, and here I am back in college. Vacation is over. I will try to make this episode and release today yet, but I'm still very sad you guys will notice that in my voice, but that's it. That's it. And having a brother is a fucking mess. He's a fucking. Ugh. Well, today maybe is a special day for you. You're listen to this podcast. Because today, August 10th, it's a very special day. I don't know worldwide if everyone is celebrating this holiday or it's just me, but today is very special. Today is a Father's Day, at least in Brazil. I don't know if there is this holiday outside, but the Father's Day exists, and it's funny how it's way less important than Mother's Day. uh, that's hilarious. Mother's Day is always about a lot of love and letters, and usually your father just take a belt or a or wallet or a shoe, and that's it. That's it. Thumbs up. You're dead. Because I don't have this joy. Because I live on the syndrome. I have the condition of a fatherless Father's Day. Yes, I am a little kid from a little black kid from the ghetto whose dad was arrested and I was in jail. Just kidding. It's kind of darker than that. My dad died actually, and I don't want to make this climate heavy. I will explain everything to you and why I say this all naturally and why I make jokes of not having a father and why the Father's Day is kind of silent for me. I was on Instagram and I saw this term that Father's Day is silent for some people, and for me it's kind of I won't cry, I won't make a noise about it, but it's not the same thing, you know. What happened in my life when my mom was pregnant, my dad suddenly suffered an accident, a car accident, and then I born without a father. I would lie if I say if that I don't grew up with a father figure, but you guys need to understand there is a lot of difference. If you who's listened to me and you have your father died also, don't take that too serious because you can love your stepdad as your dad. If your stepdad raised you and took care of you and helped on your personality, okay, nice. You have a dad, you have a father. You don't have a biological maybe, but in your mind maybe you have a father. But that's not my case. That's not my case because I had a stepdad and I had a lot of not a lot of people, but I have other one that I call dad. There's a little cute story for you guys. When my father died, my brother, the same asshole who deleted the original episode, when my father dies, my brother was, 2.5 years old. And he, in all the youth, not ignorance, all the youth innocence, came to my uncle, the husband of my mother's sister, and asked to call him father. And then when I grew up, I saw that and I listened to that, and okay, I have a father and this guy. Then I understood how things work, which is really funny because I called my mom, and I called my uncle a dad. So, and my aunt, I still call her aunt. So, for I don't, the people don't think that my uncle fucks my mom. My aunt asked me to call her mom also. So, in theory, in theory, I don't have a father, but practically, I have a father. I call someone a father, and I had two mothers, which is great for. I don't know why, but it's bad because I need two gifts on Mother's Day, and I still have to take a Father's Day gift. Anyway, it's kind of double thinking that I just said that I don't have a father, that I had the only father figures, and I also say that I call someone father and I have a stepfather. Why I say that? Because I never considered any of them a father. Of course, when I was a kid, I just call him and no matter what. But you know, an uncle will never have the same power on you that a father, unless you was raised by his uncle, by this uncle, which was not my case. My mom was still alive and continued to raise me and provide for me, while my uncle acted like an uncle, but I call him father. So he's not an uncle. He's not a father. He's an uncle. And my stepdad, my stepfather, came in my life when I was already a kind of kid. I was, 5, 6 years old. So I can't say that these guys were my father. Of course, I have the feeling for the dude. I'm calling him like that because he's divorced with my mom a few months ago. So I can't. Now I am completely empty gag of father. And he's not my father because my mom is, that lionless mother, that it's a mother and a father and a man and a woman, and he all the things that a father would do, my mother did. That's why I congratulate her for the Father's Day. I say, hey mom, happy Father's Day. I spend a time with her, and that's it. I don't consider myself with a father. I had manly figures. I have man figures. I had father figures, but it is not the same thing as the man of the house, the father of the house. It's the one who follows me on swimming lessons and swimming competitives. Uh, that makes I miss that. Of course, I miss that. I saw TV all my life. I saw TV series. I saw my friends, and of course, I met this. I had a mother. I had a grandmother and a grandfather. They kind of filled me up with these, but it was never a real father because my father was dead. And why I call this all naturally, this fatherless Father's Day, and make jokes about it. There, of course, you guys must think that I've never had. I was never a guy of hitting people. I was big, but I never liked to violence. And then I saw that sadness and that missing spot in my life, and then I just kind of make jokes about it. I just mess around. So when I was in school, in high school, basic school, anyway, I had my friends that had fathers, and the Father's Day it was all mocking up. Not in the bullying effect. I never was bullied about my father. The bully was focused in other terms of my life that I that I suffered but not about my father, because I always make fun of it. And for me, it was the best defense that I had, the best, shield that I had of the real world. It was making jokes. That's why in the future I had, I don't know if you guys, maybe the one friend that know me most probably could have the copies of my stand-up career. But when I was stand-upper, a stand-up comedy, a comedian, a stand-up comedian, for God's sake, I made jokes about my father all day, because that was the great shield that I used for for a living, for messing around and have this excuse or of not having a father. I know if you have a tragedy in your life and you can't handle it, I don't want you to feel offended by this show. But see, that's the way I saw on minimize my problem, minimize my ego and the stuff. And that's the way that I saw the many people faced it. Because it's different that if you lost your father when you was a teenager or a grown-up kid or even an adult, it's death, and there is a respect on that. You need to respect that that suffering, and that's okay. If you think that is not a good thing to joke about it, that's okay. That's your life. But there is, the other way of the coin, the other side of the coin, that that there's this little group of people of boys that was raised without fathers, that all of them make jokes. I never knew a guy. I never knew a guy who lost the parent on the beginning of life, or the parent ran away, or this stuff, that don't make joke about it. I don't know if it's my net around me. It's just people that it's related to me, or it's the natural way of the things. But but that's how these people find to protect their minds and their personalities of these fucking myths. There is a miss spot on our hearts when you don't have the man figure of the house, the father figure of the house. And I don't I don't, wouldn't find it strange if if this was the main reason that my dreams is on it's on making a family and be a father and have kids. Probably is because of that. I already think a lot about this. Of course, I'm not Sigmund Freud, so I can't understand this. I can't explain this, but maybe maybe it's that's the reason. And if you are listening to me and you don't hug your father, and it is Father's Day, not just today, hug your father and show him love. There's a lot of people that don't have this at home, that don't have a father, a real father. And if you are a stepdad and you consider a father, of course, hug him too, and show him love. The man figure needs this. Of course, he will probably call you a faggy, and he'll probably call you a faggy. But having a father is great, I guess. Well, but I don't have to take any money for a gift this year, and probably in the future years I won't have to do it. But when I have my kid, of course, I want every gift available. The adventures of me and my girlfriend won't stop. And now I want to share something with you guys that it's inside of me for a long time. As a kid, I never give the shit about cars. You know, fuck off cars. I always thought that it was a hobby or a thing of, you know, men, uh, adults, boring men adults that loved cars. And oh, look at this engine that makes and then. In my opinion, it was a fucking stupid thing. I never saw fun. I never liked car toys. I never liked Hot Wheels. I had some, but it was never my thing. That's why probably I'm not that fan of Cars. You know, the Pixar movie, the symbol of a autistic Gen Z, aside of Sonic. It's Cars. Maybe Sonic is more like millennial, I guess, but it's But the Gen Z, of course, hugged Sonic as the autistic symbol, and cars it is also. But I never liked cars, and that follows me in the teenager and the adulthood, because cars is so boring. They're so boring. It's just that there is no m- in my head there was no more stereotypical thing that being a man and like cars. It was so okay, man. It's just a box of metal with something that make it run. And I, of course, I never like it. I always thought boring, and the time goes in, and of course I I ride some cars of my friends, of my mother, and it goes in, and I had to take my lecture, my my authorization of driving, my driver's license. In Brazil, it's a fucking bureaucratic, as everything in Brazil is. It was a fucking bureaucratic, uh, progress, and it took me, a month, 1 or 2 months. That's how you get that driver license in Brazil. You need to make a theoretical test and then a practical test, of course, with a lot of classes, and these classes all paid and extra expensive. My mom, as a great mom, paid it for me. It was my 18 years gift. So I won't give you a gift that you want, that maybe it be a virgin stuff, as a a something about related to video games. I won't give you this virgin stuff. I will give you something that will make you fuck pussies. And then okay, I, you choose, ma'am. And then she paid the driver's license, and then I took it from the beginning. Probably my driver's classes was the thing that made me, because before I just don't care about cars and automobilism and drive. I never liked. That's why I was never a great fan of GTA, of Grand Theft Auto. uh, it's 15-70% of GTA is cars, and the other half is guns, and that's a stereotype that I like. A stereotype that I like on men, that is loving guns. I do like guns, but cars is cars all about gear, and there is always that friend that pretend to understand about cars, and then oh my god, the Ferrari is better than the Lamborghini, because oh my god, it's so fucking boring. Every boomer that it's in your life, it's or soccer, that it's cool, it's politics, that is also cool, but then cars came in, and when this happened, when I was a teenager and some days in my adulthood, I always, just step aside and okay, I don't want to talk anymore. I don't want to be in this. Uh, I don't want to be in this place anymore, because the fucking boomers, the fucking men stereotypes are talking about boxes of metal that make noise and go to the point A to the point B, and which is the best metal box who bring you to the point A to the point B. Okay, that was my life. In the driver's classes was when I get fucking mad, and when I developed a fear. Because just don't like it, it's normal. But I had to drive it. And my teacher was a asshole. In Brazil, to you be a teacher of a driver class, you don't have to take anything besides know a driver's school, and I don't know, sell your soul to the devil or something like that. Because that asshole probably was the most ignorant truck driver on the planet. Because it's what a fucking boomer, boring as fuck, don't know how to speak, don't know how to communicate, and of course, me, a virgin 18-year-old, a virgin 18-year-old guy who never touched a fucking car or a fucking pussy, he treated me like I was an adult, fully grown. I should be a fully grown adult, but I wasn't. And then I get fucking mad. Because every mistake I was treated with passive aggressivity. I'd prefer that he hit me in the face than that he treat me like he indeed treat me. That with the passive aggressive way. What a faggy stuff. What a gay way to teach. You know, you hit your if you're a teacher, hit your student in the face, but don't be passively aggressive with him. Okay. And then when I learn to drive and take the driver's license test, and indeed I get my driver's license, I was with that little afraid of drive. But in the first year, I was driving even with some constants. I took my mom's car for do one of the things, but always with someone, well, always to short periods. I don't know what happened if my fear, because my brother, the same asshole who deleted the original episode, my brother hit the fucking car. Sometimes I remember 4 times, and my mom hit the car 2 times. Of course, not don't hit, get hit by some asshole. Anyway, that I don't know if was that or if was a chaos or it just me being a pussy, but I was very afraid of driving. And then I just say, okay, I won't drive anymore. I, I will just don't drive. Never. I will take subway, Uber, taxi, and a bus. I will never drive again, unless if my grandma, if my mother is dying. Okay, then I take the car and took it. But that grow on me, on my chest, a fear, a deep fear of driving. And I think that I finally am over with it. I'm finally not afraid anymore. For I think one of the most noble purposes that can be, that is my girlfriend. Okay, probably you guys will think that I am a pussy, and of course he will take all of his fears for a pussy. No, uh, my girl, we are kind of time together, and it always was something that she wanted. That is me driving for her, take her to some places on special events, and I never was confident enough. I trained a lot and take the car and go there and point A, point B, but never trust myself until until this weekend, where she bet $50 that I wouldn't drive her to the restaurant, and then me, the Mr. Krabs himself, I said, no, I won't lost $50 in my life. Then I take that fucking car. I trained a week later, a week year earlier, and I'm okay. I am now 100% prepared for not losing $50. And that's what I did. I take that fucking car out the garage. I very slowly drive to her house, and here I am, bitch. I want my $50, and we will have a lot of fun. And that's what how we got. I don't know why I had such fear. I know why I had such fear, because driving is a fucking a concentration exercise. You need to remember all the laws. You need to remember all the ways how to. Of course, in Brazil, the automatic car exists, but isn't that normal? In my house, just my brother have a automatic car. I have to do it manually. You know, every gear 1, gear 2, gear 3, and changing all the way. And in my youth, in my young head, that was, that was the most difficult and most stressful thing ever. You need to change it. But in an amount of 20 minutes on my house to her house and in to her house to the restaurant, I completely lost it, and I was doing the same mistakes of a drunk father who is 13 years with the driver license. And then I said, well, maybe I spent 2 years of my life being a pussy, and now I must be a real man now to drive for my woman. And then, of course, all went well. I could drive in a road. I could drive in a high road. I could drive in anywhere very well. I wasn't afraid enough. I was afraid in the beginning because into my girlfriend's house we have some rotatory round road. I don't know how the fuck do you guys call. But that moment, I was, well, if I fucked up here, maybe I will get hit. But the thought that came to my head is everything on this fucking everything in this scenario, on the road scenario, everyone who's driving, the motorcycle, the bus, the people, everyone is better than me driving. He's a better driver than me. So they will protect me because they drive better than me. If I would hit someone, this asshole probably will evade because he is better than me. He drives better than me. So I will just make my own and don't try to hit my car on anyone, and they will evade if I mess something. And it worked. We went to a restaurant, we dined, we were very happy. We came back with in her house. I let her, and I go back. And the high noon, really, really happy of losing a fear that consumes me for a long time. And I think this block is for you, you asshole who is afraid of doing something that it's kind of normal. Buddy, you need to lose that fear because it's now or in the future or in a accident. So if you are afraid to drive in, take your mom, take your brother. My brother was the asshole who deleted the episode. He helped me a lot. He always was in my side, doing the instructions and telling me to calm down. My girlfriend, of course, was very passionate and was very okay with me and helped me a lot. Not just this weekend, but in all my way of reconnecting with the gear spirit. And now I I'm a pilot, and anyone who wants to make a race with me in the streets of Brasilia will have to face me in a death race. You understand? I'm now finally ready for clandestine races on the streets of Brasilia. Yes, a shorter episode. just like the last week, I will probably keep episodes these short for a while. I'm not that excited with this, but I want to get more when the I will still get the podcast mining. I'm sorry for the gap of the last weeks, and I will continue. For now, that's what you got. Thank you if you still watched before the after the mistake of the weeks. Remember, send your message at ditspodcast at gmail.com. It will make me very happy. I want to make more content. I want to make more things. Thank you if you listen to here. I just need to record these episodes almost running and speaking, and comes in my mind something I just talked in the original that was excluded. But thank you. Thank you a lot. And if you like this, remember, share with your friends. That's the most important thing that you must do. Subscribe, follow me on the Instagram and on Spotify and on the YouTube. All of that, it's Dits or Deep in the Shallow. Look at the description where you are listening to this, that you will have all the links, that you will have all the ways to help me. I don't want money. I just want someone listen to this. Thank you and have a great week.